What's happening, Delco? I'm Rich Shane, and welcome to the What's Happening Delco podcast. Today, I'm joined by Nicole Morelli of Pelo Studios. Nicole, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you, Rich. I'm happy to be here.
Well, I'm happy to have you and Pelo Studios. Talk about what is Pelo Studios.
Okay, well, let's see, a little background. So Pelo Studio just means, just a fancy word for the hair studio. I'm located at the Lawrence Park Shopping Center inside the My Salon Suites. So I have a private suite. I focus on organic hair coloring as well as organic products. So all of my products is exclusive. And I use Organic Color Systems color line as well as product line. What I love most about my suite is that over the years, I've been trying to figure out what really sets me apart. I never felt like, as I evolved as a hairstylist, I felt like my craft was becoming more advanced and there was more to just beauty. So I kind of really, developed like this nice atmosphere where you have one-on-one salon sessions with me. So I really feel like that sets me apart. Your private sessions, I'm not squeezing you in between other people. You're in a safe place. If you have sensitivities, diseases or disorders that you feel uncomfortable with, you are alone with me. As well as if you just feel like you want to vent and you want to just have a day, it's okay. And you're alone with me. You don't have to share that with anyone else.
How did you get started in hair care? And it really sounds like a way to be a part of personal wellness. What you do is not only hair, but if we feel good about ourselves, then it's part of also being personally fit and mentally well as that too. How did you get started with all that?
Yeah, agreed, Rich. I feel like that was my mission was starting years ago. Like I said before, I felt like I was doing more than just hair. I have dealt with people on a daily basis who have had deaths or insecurities or diseases that, we've had life-altering things happen to them as they've been sitting in my chair. So I felt like there was more than just me making people pretty. I feel like it really kind of turned its head when I started to become sensitive to traditional hair color. And I was kind of getting a little nervous because I thought, oh gosh, am I going to have to change my career? Because my career is my lifestyle. I love my career. It is who I am. And that is where I think everything started to come into place. And I really feel that by the time, I hate to say this, but by the time COVID hit, I think that was like my biggest aha moment. And I really wanted to get out there and share like, hey, I'm just as essential as anyone else, as a doctor, a lawyer, a nurse practitioner, you name it. Because I am not just about beauty. I'm about the whole being. I'm about looking to make sure we have the best care for your hair, healthier options, safer options. And I think that really kind of blew up when 2020 hit.
Now, you mentioned sensitivities and I guess to the products that you were using before. Can you explain some of those sensitivities and how they affect, those that are getting, haircuts or hair treatments and things done to their hair and their head and their scalp?
Yeah, great question. So sensitivities to a traditional color line, and without getting really in depth with it, basically sensitivities can range anywhere between migraines, slight skin irritations. They can get to severe skin irritations. They can be deadly. Some people have had life-altering effects to traditional hair color. The other thing is if you are dealing with someone, and I'm just going to say, like, if anybody has ever had cancer and has been a cancer survivor, and these are the people that I tend to really attract in my business as well, is for that person that is dealing with that remission and they are just looking for healthier options. But what happens is when you're dealing with some type of remission, your body inside of you has changed. You may feel sensitive to something that you have never had before, or you might have not, and you're just looking for a healthier option. So the range of sensitivity can be from very mild to almost, I don't want to say, but very serious. Let's put it that way. So we have to be really careful when I'm working with a client who has stressed that they had some type of sensitivities. I just don't go on there and put color on their hair. I usually do something that is a skin sensitivity test to make sure that they're okay with handling even our color line, even though we are 95% natural and 65 certified organic. You never know what could be, what that person's body is feeling.
Now, how did these sensitivities affect you, or as somebody that works in the industry all the time and over time? How did this affect you? And I guess as an industry, this is something that's prevalent that maybe most of us are not familiar with.
Yeah, it took me, I think, almost a few decades to realize that I actually recognized that I had a sensitivity. I would just blow it off. I was working a lot. I'm under stress because my sensitivities were on the lines of, I started to develop migraines, and almost like clockwork going into work, the headaches would just start immediately. Certain product lines I couldn't even touch. It would give me almost like a burn on my skin. And I'm just talking about just normal shampoos and conditioners that I would be using at the back bar on my clients. My skin would start to open up and it would just be pretty nasty. So those were where my sensitivities lied. And as I was working longer hours, and then I started to become, I'm actually an educator as well in the cosmetology field. I started to notice that my headaches were more frequent. They were coming on quicker and they were lasting longer, almost like not going away. And migraines were happening. And it really affected me. I remember taking off of work quite a few times because of these migraines. And once I went to, my doctor and we did some testings, we figured out that I have sensitivities. And I was nervous. I have to admit, I was nervous. I didn't know what to do. And this is where I actually found Organic Color Systems. And she really changed my life into becoming an organic colorist and really helping people who struggle with anywhere from the mildest of sensitivity to the most severe of sensitivities. It kind of almost became like my mission and my passion. And it clicked for me like, this is where I need to be. It's not just about beautification. It's about health and wellness, a whole body experience.
You mentioned something so important, that the sensitivities, and for you in your life, and we all have sensitivities, but you said you blew it off. Now, you didn't in a way ignore it, but you just kind of rolled with the punches, so to speak. And I think a lot of us do that day to day rather than take a second and say, what's causing this irritation? What's causing this anxiety? And it was great for you because you discovered this within the products you were using, the environment. I think where we are as we, enter into 2023 and move forward, all these things that are surrounding us and causing us these, little things like a little rash or what's causing this? Do we want to take a step back and stop and say, is this something I'm ingesting? Is this something I'm putting on my skin? And you have the ability to provide this when, for those that are washing their hair every day or every other day, or soaps or solvents and things like that, take a look inside, look at the bottle, try to figure out what you're using, what you're putting on your skin. This huge skin sensitivity thing, it's important to be aware of, isn't it?
It sure is. And unfortunately, I think for me, because, when I started from behind the chair, we're talking a few decades ago, we didn't think about things like this. We hustled, we blew it off. We just said, oh, this is just the way things are. And I think that nowadays I feel that the way society is, I feel like the way, the movement of the hair industry is to be more mindful. I feel that people are catching on quicker. I wish I did. I wish I did catch on quicker. I've caught on at the point where it was so bad that it was affecting me financially because I was constantly calling out sick. And that's where I realized that it wasn't just stress or having a bad day or just using, too much product overload because, I'm shampooing with the same product over and over. It was a little bit more than that. So that was where I was like, okay, that's where I need to go get checked and figure it out. And yes, I do agree. I feel that we have a lot of people, we have internet accessible, people are researching. I also feel that, there's always a little something that we can get some extra information on. So we have a clearer understanding of what we're looking for to making sure that it is a healthier alternative for you. And I think that's so important that, yes, we're entering in 2023. I mean, technology is more at our fingertips today than it was even just 5 years ago. So that's the plus side of everything. People are becoming more aware. And I want to help to keep constantly raising that awareness as well. That is really where, my passion lies with my industry. Like, I really feel at this point that I'm not just a beautician. I'm a hairapist. I deal with hair. I deal with lifestyle. I deal with people who are walking in who are troubled with sensitivities and are just looking for a healthier and safer alternative.
Where your passion lies, who motivates you? Who inspires you to do what you do? Who do you see doing things and you say, that lifts me up, that keeps me going to be part of that mission too?
Oh, I feel like that's such a challenging question because I don't think I've ever really thought about it. I think my kids always inspire me. I mean, first and foremost, it's always my kids that drive me to want to be better and to want to provide and, to want to be the best version of myself. But I think there wasn't that one person that's driven me. I think that I love the industry so much. And then over the years, watching it evolve and become something so much more was inspirational to me. And I like to challenge myself. So I feel like a little bit it has to do with me as well. Like I challenge myself. So I motivate me. My fellow peers in the industry, they motivate me. I love watching their successes. I love watching them evolve. As an educator, I teach. I love watching the aha moments. So all this plays. There's not just that one person or that one thing. It's multiple people, multiple circumstances in the course of my career that has driven me, has put the fire under me, so to speak, to evolve and to become better.
Somebody's looking to make an appointment with you, Nicole. How do they do that? Do they go on your website? Do they call you? What's the process?
So we can do an email. So I do have my email information. So it's info.ilpelostudio@gmail.com. Or you can send a phone call out to me, which is 267-679-3063. I'm also on Instagram, but I am on Instagram as the Hair RX, which is the_hair_RX. And that's where I do most of my salon postings.
Yeah, that's good to understand because now people can see some of what you're doing. It's the world of social media. This gives them an idea. What you talked about is this is one-to-one. This is a very private situation, a very private opportunity where you're not just going to take in walk-ins. It's not that kind of a studio. And I think that for me, that's almost it's like working with a physical trainer, a fitness trainer, right? Because
Correct.
You're getting that one-on-one mentorship, coaching, the experience, the wholeness, the wellness, and it's natural. Yep. You're not putting chemicals and you do things like strength testing of hair, and you really come at it from a perspective that is very personal.
Thank you. I definitely feel that I try to dive in as what is actually really going on with your hair. We take into considerations diet, weather, water, environment, medications. And, when you're coming in and you're having that private session with me, we're really diving into what is really going to be actually good for your hair. I'm not just slapping anything on and thinking, okay, I think this is what's really going to work with you. I'm working with what is going on with you, and let's see if I can help, make it better for you. I love that one-on-one client experience. You're getting a great one-on-one private education the whole time. And like I said, on top of the education, it's a safe place if you feel like venting, if you are dealing with insecurities. I can't stress it enough that, I'm here to work with the client that is dealing with that is struggling with, dealing with those sensitivities. And I love what I have created in my business. I'm very proud of it. I'm very passionate about it. And if anybody is interested in getting to know more about it, I always welcome somebody to come in and to sit down and have a chat with me.
Nicole, your studio's in Delco. You live in Delco. How would you describe Delco to someone that's never been here? Or, hey, this is what you can expect if you're coming to Delco.
I think Delco is his own little world. I don't know how to really explain it, to be honest with you. I think you just have to experience us. I think for the most part, we are very friendly people. We are very strong about our communities. And that's how I feel. I mean, we tend to be Delco strong. We tend to, at some point, if something happens, we tend to rally together and be, unified as one.
You are out and about and you have that pizza craving. Where are you going for pizza?
I had my favorite. Unfortunately, they shut down. They were like my all-time favorite. So I've been still in search of the ideal pizza. I'm from Philly, so, Philly.
Who was your favorite that shut down?
Who was my favorite? It was Gaetano's.
Gaetano's, and they shut down.
Yeah, I believe they did because we haven't been seeing them anymore.
Just for you, they need to open up again. Now,
absolutely. I was like their number one customer. I loved that place. We're kind of still in search of it, Rich. I'm a picky pizza person.
Picky pizza person. I love it. You're on your way to the studio. You need a convenience store option. Where are you going? Wawa or Royal Farms?
I'll go to a Wawa. I'm right near it. I love Wawa. And honestly, I really enjoy Wawa coffee.
Is there a favorite blend or size that you get?
The size is going to depend on the day. Sometimes I go for the extra large and sometimes I go for the large. I like to mix, just like I like to mix all my different hair colors together to create that perfect palette. I'm the same way with my coffee. I'll add a little bit of dark roast. I'll add a little bit of vanilla, French vanilla. Who knows? It's whatever I feel like I'm in the mood for that day.
Very cool. Nicole, you have friends or family coming into Delco. You want to give them that Delco experience. Maybe you want to take them somewhere besides coming into the studio, perhaps for a whole total hair makeover. Where are you taking them or sending them?
I guess it depends on the weather. I love, going to Linvilla Orchards. I love going to Pennswood Winery or Chadsford Winery. I think that's a really fun experience. And that's usually during the, when the weather's a little bit nicer. I would say, one of those three.
I love it. Apples, maybe a little pie, some of the great things that the orchard makes and bakes. Yep. Then you're going to grab some wine. That sounds like the perfect day to me.
It's pretty much the perfect day for me. So I would hope it would be the perfect day for my friend too. So that would be usually my top choice. And like I said, it would depend on the weather, but I do love the outdoors. I do like a nice summer, spring day. So that would be my number one pick.
Nicole, is there anything we haven't talked about today on the podcast? Anything that you want people to know more about you or Il Pelo Studio?
Well, I don't know if about any more, but I would like to say, I'm stressing to the point where that I am an organic colorist. My focus is on the total being, not just hair. I attract the clientele, and this is, the clientele that is seeking for a healthier option with hair color or even their products. I'm attracting the clientele, and if they're interested, if somebody is dealing with sensitivities and they're feeling a little hopeless and they're looking for a better option, that's who I am. That's where that's what I attract. I'm not hustle and bustle. I've changed the way I've done hair within the past several years. Like I said, I stress that it's private session. I'm not squeezing anybody in. You're on my time. I'm on your time. You're with me. I'm here for you. And that's what I would love to stress, that I want to kind of bring it down a notch. We hustle and bustle all day. And when you come into my space, I want you to relax and enjoy your time, as well as get an education and a great, healthy alternative hair color and a fabulous haircut as well.
I think for 2023, this is exactly what we need. Slow down, be aware of what is in our environment, take a breath, and do nice things for us, ourselves, and our hair. Now, that for 2023 is the start, and people need to call you and schedule that opportunity to just be in that moment, de-stress, find alternatives that are going to be better for them and their hair. And Nicole, that's what you're doing.
Yes, I am. Thank you. I appreciate that.
2 questions to round out the podcast. Are you ready?
Okay.
What's your dog's name?
Nala.
Nala. And what kind of dog is Nala?
She is she's a mix. So she's a Staffordshire Terrier and Hound.
Wonderful. Well, to you and Nala, thanks for being part of what's happening, Delco. Thanks for being our friend. And we look forward to keeping in touch with you and, hearing more about what's in the future for all that you're doing to help people. So thanks for being on the podcast today.
Thank you, Rich. Thank you for having me. It was a wonderful time.